thank you for joining. I thought I'll share 3 of the latest books I've made using the digitals I've created recently. Annoyingly, I can't. I wish I could like share tutorials as well, but it takes good 4 to 5 hours for each one, and after gluing some pages, then I run to the sewing machine, and then when I make the luggage tags, then from leftovers I'm resticking and I'm recycling some bits and pieces. So sadly it's not possible. Honestly, I wish I could, but and actually, if I wanted to repeat and do the same, I don't think personally I could, just because I'm kind of improvising as I go along. But I will share with you kind of the process that I go through. So I've combined the 3 together instead of making a video for each one. And I hope you will find it useful in terms of inspiration or ideas when you're making yours. The reason I say this is because even when I create kits myself, once if it's not like a set up one and it's just like more like loose pages, personally, after printing everything, especially this one is about 17 pages, I look at it for a good 45 minutes, just like moving pages around and trying to think of what to use for what, and then I change my mind during the process. So it just that probably just to say that you're not alone, and always there's no right or wrong, always the final, the finished product is I should say piece actually the finished piece is regardless going to be pretty. So one thing I will say that I try with most of the larger papers is to print on the back side, so I don't have like blank areas. So I want, for example, this one I wanted to keep it more like pastel-y pale look. I've printed kind of grayish background, which is also included in the kits, and with smaller pieces I don't mind as much, like luggage tags and everything. So let me start with this one. I will say I don't think I've said in any of my videos, English is not my first language, so I'm a little struggling sometimes because I think in my mother tongue language, which is Hebrew, and then as I talk through, and it kind of quickly translated this in my head, and then at the same time talk through, the kits or the tutorials or everything. So I hope you still find it helpful and you can still understand everything I say. Anyway, so forgive me whenever I make some mistakes and typos and grammar. Yeah. Okay. So this one comes with large pattern papers, like A4 ones, and I've kind of trimmed some of the larger ones, for example, to create pockets. So I had to sacrifice one page for the pockets. I mean, I could always print another one if I wanted to include, but I thought it's busy and full and bulky anyway, so there was no need for that. So basically the main page, I took one of the A4 ones and I folded it into 2. I printed at the back, so it's not like, although I used ivory paper, I didn't want to look like too bright, so I've used one of the background pages, and I've trimmed one of the pages. I've created some pockets, so there is one here and there's another pocket here, there's another pocket here, so I literally just stuck pieces, and then another triangle here. So one triangle here, and whatever I'd left from this piece, I've stuck it here. The envelopes come like as patterned ones, so you will see, because they are very pale, it's hard to notice, but there will be like mini triangles to trim, so you'll be able to fold it into this shape. So you can see it's very pale. It doesn't look as crisp as my other kits, because I wanted to keep it like very kind of soft look. And there is this background kind of embossed texture is also included. So before trimming the envelope, I run it through the printer second time, which means that I also have it, that this was on the same page as that, so that means that this side is also printed, but I didn't mind. And with this paper inside, I've put a little pearl in here, and I stuck another one here. And what I've done with this one, because I trimmed it before printing on the back, then I've stitched some fabric here on the back. And this paper is also included. Love adding and creating pockets. I mean, you can actually use the large ones also to create a large book, but I wanted to kind of create like a folio storage one, and I've actually managed from another piece to create a mini book. I'll show you in a second. Inside and here there is pocket for a few more bits. So that's the leftover. So that was printed on the back. Intentionally I was going to do this something else, that's why it's printed. So I wanted to show, not to waste the print. So that's why I folded it unevenly. So it's going to show a bit of the green here. And I've stuck this pretty lady here with a mini pearl. I've stitched some of the leftovers of the papers. Yep. And then, yes, I took one of the pages and I basically folded it. When I did create the fold, that's something that you do need to think through. At the beginning, if you're going to store the envelopes in this folio, you probably want to make one of the sides a bit large. And I've actually measured it to make sure there is enough room to store them in. And yes, from one of the pages, I managed to... I've used it as a mini book cover, and I've stuck this on top. And what I've done with this one, all the papers that came exactly in the same matching size as this one, I used them to create like the inner pages, and I've stuck a bit of lace as pockets. And what I've done, I kept, instead of stitching the pages or put a ribbon to bind it all together, I started to stick them back to back. So this way, all the pages are patterned and you can easily flip through. And this envelopes comes as well with this sleeve. Yeah, so I've printed although I don't think you can see the grayness of the background here, but I did print this page second on, and like using the background page. And this as well, I put a bit of fabric here. And some of the extra papers I just put, as you can see, lace here as a pocket, and they're really pale and soft colors. These are all, by the way, historian letters or documents. That took me hours and hours and hours to search for them, but it was worth the time. And then obviously I've put some layering on top and some laces images. And there is this envelope here, and I've stuck another lady here with some pearls around. And I've used some of the pages, the leftovers from this page. No, so this pattern comes as envelope and also as just a large page. So I've trimmed, some of it is in the book and the rest is here. And then another larger A4 I've used as a cover for everything. and I've stitched this folio to this. I mean, you can also glue it or just put ribbon around, or glue and put a ribbon, but I just thought, I was already by the sewing machine, so I thought I'm just gonna run a quick stitch here. So that is this one, and I'll show you the other one here. So this is an example when you don't think it through properly at the beginning. I still loving the end results, but when I have created, when I have folded the original page, which is this one that meant to be the folio, I didn't think of a storage space for the envelopes. So what I have to do afterwards, because the idea was just to have it like this, without this main one here. And after I've done this, I realized that I didn't leave enough space here. So what I've done, I've stuck this piece on top of a larger paper. So then actually I do like the end result, but that wasn't the idea at the beginning. So now it's actually turned out better with this extra layering. So basically I just stuck on top, and what I've done, I made sure that the pages are printed both sides. So I mean, you can always cover it with an extra paper. So yeah, and then I've stuck another paper. You see, I forgot about this side. This bit it's printed both sides. So I made a little fold here, and this is stuck on top to create this extra layering, and I've kept all the pieces possible to create mini pockets. So I'll just show you quickly what's included in this kit. So there is this envelope, and it comes with this pretty page. And then there is this envelope, which I've stitched this little rose here, but you can stick it as well. And it comes with this paper. Yes, so I think the leftover from here, I've created a pocket. And I've stitched the label here and here as well. And I've burnt the edges of the paper because it's really old paper, the original. So I wanted it to look like super old and antique. And this one, as you can see, printed both sides. And I've stuck some labels here and left over here. And these are these two little cards. Make sure I'm not missing anything. And here I've just paper clipped the word memories. And this is actually literally memories from Paris, my favorite town ever. And I've used one of the pages here as a pocket, and some bits and pieces here. I've also burned the edges of this one, and I've used one of the labels here as a pocket. Don't know where this comes from. Okay, here. And there are these luggage tags here. And these pockets are actually in the book, but you can easily make them yourself. In the kit, I mean, they're included. And this pretty little tag, I've added some lace underneath with a paper flower, a pre-made one. Some more of Paris motifs here. I will rearrange it properly later. I don't want to waste your time. And there's another pocket here, so I've used one of the pages here as a pocket, and I've stitched one of the stamp with a bit of mesh here, which is coffee stained on top. Oh, more pockets. And this is here, so I'll put a bit of lace here and this on top, and there is this mini pocket here with this pretty paper, and that's about it. And I've stuck this little rose here as well. Everything you see here is included in the kit, besides probably like things like the mesh and everything for you to add on to yours. And this beautiful kind of antique lacy look for the main cover. So really the pages are loose. You feel free to kind of to copy the idea of my arrangement. I don't think personally I'll be able to redo it the same because I kept stitching and adding and sticking other bits, but you can easily do it just by, so I took this page, folded it over, stuck it on the back of this one, and that creates an extra layers. And you can keep going, adding from other kits you have, other pattern paper, wallpaper, newspaper, anything you have, to basically add more layers to it. Thank you so much for, oh no, sorry, I've got a third one to show you. That's that. This one, same thing. I have printed this kit kind of knowing that I've got the main envelope and the cover which are included, and these envelopes, but I wasn't too sure how I'm going to decorate it all. So I mean, this is all included as it is, so it's pretty easy to assemble. And there is there are pages obviously that included in the book, as this one, and there is this green one, and the pockets and everything, but and also actually this paper you can use for your inner pages to print it back to back, but I didn't want to print that many, so what I've done, I've just tea stained some papers, and I've used them as and to fill up my book. And then same as with this kit, I took bits and pieces and I've trimmed some of the pages to create some pockets, and literally I've recycled any little bits that I had, so even like a tiny piece of lace like here, so I've stuck it on the back of the stamp and then this on top. I'll just go through this quickly. This is like really pretty, so just one of the cards that stitched all this together. And I've stapled this big stamp size onto this frame, photo frame, because it comes blank for you to put anything you like. And I've created a pocket here, and these are two labels and a matching card, and that's the end of it. The actual cover is included. I'll just mention this kit is about 12 pages kit. This one is 17. I think 2 or 3 are just background pages you can use if you like, but it's packed with all these pretty lacy kind of antique letters, patterns, and this I think it's about 10 pages. I will put a link in the description for each listing, and if you have any any questions how I've done what, I'll do my best with my poor English to explain. I really hope you find it useful. I'll just mention about this one actually. I've took a bit of chiffon and I've just trimmed like flowery shaped pieces. I've stuck them one to each other, obviously let it dry, and then I dipped it in coffee actually, like quite concentrated one, and then I didn't let it dry. I put it in the oven because I wanted the edges to burn, and then I stuck this pearl on top. So I thought I'll just mention how I achieved this the results for this one. Same for that. I'm trimming mini pieces of like long pieces of mesh, and then I dipped it in coffee and then put it in the oven again, just because I wanted to get it a bit stiff. And let me think if there's anything else here I can mention. Yes, I think some of the papers here, after printing them, I did, I think, not coffee stain them, but I just put some, how to say this, sorry, I lost my concentration for a second. I'm in front of the window and it's a drop of time before school and I've got little kids passing by. So basically I just sprinkle some, I take some coffee, I dip my hands in coffee so they're a bit wet, and I just splash some coffee on top, so it gets like a stain, they are stained as well. I really hope you find it useful. Thank you so much again for watching.